episode of On Campus. We are here at the Solano College TV studio today, and I am joined here with our guests, Josh Mojica and Maxine Fullen. And today we're going to be talking about, how's your guys' time been in the broadcasting class, and, what's next for you guys maybe, and what have you guys enjoyed in this semester. So my first question is going to be, how did you guys find out about the sports broadcasting program? Or, did you see it on some type of ad, or was there something that, allowed you guys to be like, okay, this class seems kind of cool, I'm going to try it out?
Well, for me, I used to live in Daynes City almost 2 years ago. Lived there for 1.5 years, and then I was working full-time back there. And I was researching some community college and even four-year institution nearby that offers a sports broadcasting course or even something that's similar to it. And then I saw Solano Community College offers sports broadcasting for 4 semesters. And what's really perfect about it is that it's located here in Fairfield, obviously, and then my mom lives in Vacaville. So I told my mother, hey mom, Solano offers a sports broadcasting course, which is located in Fairfield, so I might transfer there. And then from there on, I started here fall 2024, but I didn't take this class in my first year because I was fully loaded of units. I was a full-time student in my first year, and this is my second year at Solano. And then I decided just to take this class. Take this course in my second year, and moving forward, I'm going to be extending one more year maybe just to complete the 4-semester course for that.
Yeah, so you can get that certificate. I mean, I'm also chasing that same exact thing.
Word.
I know. What about you, Maxine?
For me, I heard about it from a friend. So when I was choosing my classes, I was kind of iffy if I should do it or not. But I just wanted to take a step and do something new and try it out. So as soon as I took this class, I really enjoyed it, so that made me want to change my major into something else, because originally it was kinesiology and I wanted to do sports med. So I wanted to be in the sports field, so I think this was the perfect fit. And
so when your friend recommended you, was that person previously in the class, or were they just I heard about this class here at Solano?
They had just heard about it. I don't think they were in the class, but
Really?
They said that, there's a sports broadcasting class, and I just thought it was cool, so that's
I also think the class is very cool. We're very dynamic in what we do here in the program and stuff like that, where you can either work on a camera or, be in the booth commentating, which is what I do, or, field reporting, which is actually going to go into my next question, is that out of all the positions that you guys wanted to choose in the class, what made you guys choose field reporting?
For me, it's something that I really want to pursue when I shifted my focus into this industry. Because growing up as a high school student, my first option is actually to take information technology or information communication and technology, which is ICT for college. It's just that there's one course back in high school that's really hard for me, which is programming classes. So it's really hard. It's because of memorization, stuff like that. And I just realized that even though I want to pursue IT or anything that's under that, computer science, computer engineering, it doesn't move me back. So I shifted my focus into this industry, which is sports broadcasting. Because first and foremost, I like sports. I play basketball, and also enjoy watching football and baseball. And while watching those games, I keep track of the articles. I read articles about the game, about news, players, teams, stuff like that. And I also read off stats after the game. Then from then on, I always watch. Growing up, like I said, I played basketball, watched the NBA, and my most favorite sideline reporter in the NBA is the late Craig Sager. Everybody loves Craig Sager. And from then on, I said, hey, maybe I should try that. I mean, I got a lot of feedbacks from my high school teachers back then that I have good vocal projection, voice.
You definitely do. You have the voice for sure.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so, hey, why not do that and apply it to sports? Maybe become a sports reporter someday.
Yeah.
So, that's how I got into this sideline reporter, field reporting, you would say.
Yeah, so Craig Sager, he was your inspiration. He was that person that was like, okay, if he can do it, I can do it type of mentality.
Yep.
And that's amazing. That's good to have a role model and stuff like that, to where you're able to like, okay, let me base my game. I wouldn't say base your game off of someone who's already done it, but take pieces and pieces and parts of what they've done, if they've accomplished at a professional level, and implement it into your own game. It's just like watching professional athletes. If you're any type of athlete, you watch Kobe. If you're a basketball player, you're like, look at his work ethic. Or LeBron James, you got Michael Jordan, you got all the greats up there that you would like go and watch and stuff like that. So, and same thing with football. You got Tom Brady, quarterback. That's who. Those are those players and those people that you want to reflect, to be your role model, so you can, eventually pick up those same great talents like them. What about you, Maxine?
Well, for me, I wasn't really familiar like what roles there was in the class. So Pop on the first day was asking us like, do you like production? Do you like being in front of the camera? Do you like using a camera? And I was like, I just like said, oh, I'll be in front of the camera. Like, why not?
Yeah.
Not knowing that I was gonna be pushed into doing field reporting, but not pushed, but just being thrown out there.
Yeah.
Not knowing how it was gonna be, but that's basically how I started doing field reporting. I just said, I was like, yeah, I'll be in front of the camera, and I ended up really liking it. So.
Yeah, because I think that we had a conversation before, actually all three of us, where you were saying how like you were saying it like, oh yeah, I wanted to do it, but like you didn't expect that it was gonna be like that, where it was gonna be like instantly like, okay, it's like we're not gonna do no training. It's just first game. First game is the second week of school, so you better get that voice ready and prepared.
Yeah.
But I think that you guys both have been doing did a great job this semester when it came to the baseball, football, basketball, all of those sports that we've covered. I mean, you guys have done an amazing job. So, sorry, you just gonna say thank you?
Yeah, I was just gonna say thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
You're
And
welcome.
don't forget volleyball too.
Yeah, volleyball too. We can't forget about that. Can't forget about that. So my next question is gonna be, what is it like? What does it look like to perform on game day? What does the prep look like?
Well, first and foremost, research is a must, of course, before game days, and especially because me and Maxine, what we do is we split the research, the two teams that we want to cover. If I want to cover the away team, or she want to cover the home team, or vice versa.
And then we like switch it every week.
Every week, every game, stuff like that. And then second thing for me is that if I'm covering this team specifically, I would send emails to the coaches, even the assistant coaches of the teams. And then, of course, you won't get a response in like in the next 48 hours, 24 to 48 hours, so you have to follow up. But I want to commend all of those coaches, even the high school football coaches that really made time to respond to my emails, because it means a lot. It made my reports, especially my pre-game reports, smooth. And because of that, it really made all the reports made sense in front of camera, all the things that I reported. Because as a sideline reporter, you are also a storyteller, just like the announcers, just like you guys in the booth, but much different, of course.
Yeah, because you guys are getting more of that inside scoop, like you're saying. You're emailing, or both you guys are talking to the coaches personally, and it's like, not a lot of people know that information. So just for you, like you just said, you're a storyteller. You're the people that gets to bring those small, intricate details to life, and that's what also makes a very special part in the broadcast as well. What about you, Maxine?
Well, I do basically what he does, like doing the research, getting all the stats, writing a report, and then on actual game day, I like to just like take an hour and just like go through it like over and over and over again until I'm comfortable and I have it all down and memorized, and it's like it flows naturally.
Right.
Instead of me like having to think what I'm gonna have to say
Yeah,
next.
yeah.
Right.
So I like to be comfortable with my report and be ready for the camera.
That's amazing. So I was gonna ask you guys, it's like, do you guys, when you guys take that time to prepare and stuff like that, at least like when you're doing, I guess you can say your guys' reports are kind of like mini speeches. Do you guys feel like most of the time, do you guys go off script? Where you're sticking to your script, but you're not saying it word for word and stuff like that. And do you think that is a good skill to have?
Yeah, that's a great question, honestly. For me, I don't really write an entire script of what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Like, yeah, okay, this is the things that I'm gonna say. I have to memorize it word by word. And
Right.
Then,
Inside
no.
the mind of Josh.
For me, what I actually do is that I do bullet forms. Like,
Right.
okay, introduction. I'm gonna be talking about the coach. Next bullet, his history. Next bullet, a player, his stats, stuff like that. That's what I do. So in my case, I don't do word by word. Instead, I'm just gonna be explaining every bullet forms that I have in my
Right,
notes.
right,
Like,
right.
okay, this is what the head coach, let's say, head coach Miles King of Rodriguez football said, and then a player, middle linebacker Domingo Daynes, who had, let's say, who had his career high 5 sacks in one game, stuff like that.
Yeah,
And he's suit up today and stuff like that. Yeah. So I don't do word by word. Instead, I explain every bullet form that I have in my notes.
Nice. Yeah, you don't. That's we gotta stop the information right there because we don't want to give the other reporters too much sauce. You can't give them too much sauce. Can't give them too much sauce.
Well, for me, I actually do the exact opposite what he does. I write it word for word because I like to know what I'm gonna say. Because I think it's challenging for me to like try to memorize
And do
each
bullet
point
points.
and like try to calculate what I'm gonna say. So I think it's easier for me to have a whole report down and memorize the whole thing. It's just easier for me, and I feel like it flows better for me. But like when I do a project or a presentation, I do
You do the bullet
bullet
points.
points. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't do like full
Yeah.
memorization. Yeah.
That's actually very cool though, how you guys both have two different types of styles of prep, and also you guys switch and collaborate where it's like you guys switch teams every week and stuff like that. That MJ duo, that's what I'm talking about. So my next question is gonna be, what is your guys' favorite types of reports? Whether that's pre-game interview, in-game interview, or post-game interview. Which one is your guys' favorite one to do?
If I'm gonna list them from best to least,
Yeah, we can do that
Okay.
too.
yeah, it's great.
I think, yeah.
For me, I would say in-game reports for me are at the top, like number one, because like I said, as a sideline reporter, you're a storyteller, and the stories that you're telling on the broadcast to the viewers, to the audience,
Right.
are stuffs that your announcers on the booth couldn't have access. Because as a sideline reporter, you have access to everything. I mean, you're on the sidelines, you're on the
Yeah,
bench.
when we were on the baseball field, you were literally on the field.
Mhm, exactly.
That was crazy.
Yeah, and that too. You're in the dugout, so you can talk to the players and to the coaches directly. So what I do is that pre-game, I talk to the players, I talk to the coaches for some interesting stories that they have, and then of course ask them if it's all right to have it as my end game reports.
Right.
But they're really lenient about it and say, yeah, sure, why not? That'd be great.
Perfect.
And then and with that too. Some of the parents from our basketball team, men's basketball, and also the baseball team approached me during the games and said, "Hey, I really like the report that you did about my son." I said, "Oh, who's your son?"
Yeah.
This player. Oh, nice. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. So end-game reports are the best for me, just because those are stories that, like I said, your announcers on the booth couldn't have access to. And then next one would be post-game interviews, of course, because it's just fun to do it.
So pre-game is at the bottom. The first one is at the bottom.
Next one is be a post-game interview, because, like I said, post-game interview for me, it's like celebrating the player's success. That's why we call them the player of the game. Right?
Yeah.
We celebrate their success on the field or on the court of what they did. I mean, they're the key player and why they won the game, right?
Yeah.
So, and then you get to ask him, hey, so could you describe your overall performance today? Like the overall, like what were the key moments for this outcome to happen? And then last but not the least, I would say is a pregame report. Because for pregame reports, for me, I would say the least, just because of not only the stories that you tell for your pregame reports is not on the same level for me as the stories that you tell for your in-game reports. Because, like I said, in-game reports, those are, I have to say, top-tier stories that you say in the broadcast.
Yeah, those are like where all the gold comes from, and I think, like, I understand why the pregame is probably least ranked, is because that's you setting the stage, and then once the game is happening, like this is like the bullets are flying, like these are the stuff that's happening right now. So I mean, yeah, I agree with that.
And I forgot one more thing. Actually, that's not actually the third one. That's actually the fourth one.
Oh
The
shoot.
third one would be halftime reports.
Oh
So,
yeah,
yeah, I
I
almost
forgot about that
Mhm,
too.
yeah.
See, I
Halftime
forgot about
reports.
that in my question. See,
Yeah. So that's
that's
my
that's good.
list. My rank.
My
What
ranking.
is Maxine's rankings?
Okay, so my first is gonna be pregame, just because it's like the first one, and I'm like the most confident in that one.
You said least?
No, that's my
No, the
favorite.
That's your
Best.
first.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So you guys are like
I like
kind of opposite.
I like the pregame because you could just like it's like set for me, and I could just get it over with, and then I could focus on the game.
Right.
And then I would have to put halftime, just because it's interesting making a story while the game is going, and it's like an adrenaline rush when you're like trying to memorize everything and just like having, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Just having like a rush and like the adrenaline is just like top tier.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be pregame, halftime, and then I'll have to say in-game, because
Really?
post-game is scary for me
Uh,
sometimes.
would
But
you-
I actually started liking them more towards the end.
because you got more comfortable with it.
Yeah.
So
But
what
I-
made it scary? If you don't.
I don't
mind
know.
me
It was
asking?
just intimidating, like interviewing players to me.
Mm.
But then, like once I started doing it more, I was like, wait, this is like kind of fun.
Yeah, like it's like, you know, you're kind of like, once you I would say like spend more time with the players, like
Yeah.
meaning by interviewing them, like I feel like you get more comfortable, like okay, this is just like someone that I go to school with or
Yeah.
something like that. You know, you don't really put them in a hierarchy like, oh my gosh, it's Jace Parkinson. Shout out Jace. Shout out Jace.
But no,
Yeah.
yeah, it would be in game and then post game for me.
Yeah.
Those are my rankings.
Okay, so now we're gonna get into the individual questions. We're gonna have one question for you, and then we're gonna have one question for you. I'm actually gonna start off with you because that's just how I had him. So, what have you learned about yourself while in the program that maybe you didn't know about yourself before, and like if the program brought that out of you? Like, what did the program bring out of you that you haven't seen that side to yourself
I
before?
would say confidence, because before coming into this class, I would have never been like, yeah, get me in front of the camera. I would
Okay.
have never been like that.
Right.
But I just like took that step. I was like, let me just try something new.
Hmm.
And it definitely has gotten me more confident to try new things, because
Mhm.
it's not so scary as how I think they are.
Right.
So I feel like confidence has like it's definitely been brought out, just because I've learned a lot about myself, about how I can do things that I would have never thought I would do.
Right. Just getting out of that box, out of
Yeah.
that comfort zone. And see, that's like, that was the whole basis of my question, is just to see
Yeah.
if like, what's the inside of the mind of, you know, someone that might not, I wouldn't necessarily say ready for the moment, because you guys are definitely prepared when the moment happens.
Yeah.
But like, you know, like you said, it's like playing a real sport. It's like playing a game. Like, even though you're covering a game, it's like you're doing a game, because first of all, like, the games are live. You know, you have little room to make mistakes and stuff like that. And I think that, you know, that's props to you and Josh for you guys to get in front of the camera and just, you know, calm those nerves. What I would do is this, I used to think about this all the time, where it's like, if you have nerves, or if, you know, you feel fear, you use that energy and you put it towards whatever you're doing. Meaning, like, you're transferring that negative energy into positive energy. And it's like, okay, this feeling, boom, this means I'm doing something right, so I'm gonna go put that into there. So that's my philosophy on it. If you want to answer the question too, like,
Yeah.
you can answer the question as well.
Well, number one is actually time management, because
That's
like
what
I
you
said,
learned?
from preparation and then down to the actual reporting, is that before you do your research and do your contact the coaches that you need to contact, for me, is that you gotta think of the content that you were gonna say in your report. Like, what do you want to talk about? You want to talk about an injury report? You want to talk about a player's statistics, his history, or
Yeah.
like he transferred from another school to this
Mhm.
school? What's up with that? Why? Or what happened?
Hmm.
Or yeah, you want to think about the content first, like way before you do your research. And then from there on, as soon as you gather all the information that you need, you gotta practice, you gotta rehearse, and of course you gotta make time for that. So number one is time management for me.
And that's what you learned
Mm-hmm.
from being okay. Well, that's what okay. So now we're gonna get into your question.
Yeah.
You know, a little individual question for the J.
Mhm.
You know, we just went to the M, now we're to the J. And for Josh, you know, we know that you've also not only spent time down on the field or on the courts,
Mhm.
but you've also been up in the booth
Yep.
when we've been doing women's basketball and doing play-by-play. You
That's
know,
right.
how, you know, break that down for us. How has that been, and you know, what's the experience like compared to being a field reporter?
Yeah, first and foremost, I'd like to thank, of course, our professor, Greg Poff, for putting the trust in me to be on that position. Because just like you guys, I'm also a first-year student in this class.
Yeah.
And then from the very beginning, Professor Poff said that since we have a lot of people in this class,
Right.
and we have two basketball teams for Solano that we'll be covering. We have the women's basketball and the men's basketball. He said we're gonna have two teams. Okay, so this team, men's basketball, Robert, and the rest of the group, you will be the play-by-play announcer for men's basketball.
Right.
And then Josh, let's see you on women's basketball, and from the first game, if he said that if you did well, I think we can move on forward and then just stick with you as a play-by-play announcer for women's basketball. So I did the first game of Solano. Really great. It was really fun, of course, because I get to call a basketball game. I mean, the game that I love. Ever since I was 9 years old, I've been playing basketball. So, and here I am.
Nice.
Here I am getting the actual experience of calling a basketball game, my college basketball game. And so yeah, it was really great. It was really fun, and I'm looking forward to doing it again my second year next year as a play-by-play, whether it's for men's or women's basketball or even both. And you also mentioned the difference between a sideline reporter and a play-by-play announcer. So yeah, like I mentioned earlier, and I'm gonna say it again, is that for play-by-play and sideline reporter, there's similarities. Is actually, yeah, like I said, a storyteller. Like you're just telling the stories to your audience and viewers. But the difference is that a play-by-play announcer is more of you bringing your audience and the viewers into the game. Like you're announcing everything that's happening on the court or on the field.
Yeah.
Like, oh, touchdown. He's at the 5 touchdown then. Yeah,
Ah,
Curry,
see?
wide open from the corner, banks it in. Some stuff like that. And then as a sideline reporter, you're telling stories that maybe your viewers and audience don't see on television.
That need a little bit more background to it.
Yes, exactly.
Amazing.
Like a good example.
Sensational.
Yeah, a good example would be injury reports.
Yeah.
That's number one.
Oh, that's actually a really big part
Mhm.
as well.
Injury reports is number one. Number two is players' story, like where they came from, how did they let's say basketball again, how did they end up playing here for Solano, like
Mhm.
the process of if they got recruited or if they're walked on,
Yeah.
like that. And next thing that's really interesting is a coach's background as well.
Yeah.
So those are top three, I would say, interesting stories that you have as a sideline reporter to say.
That is
Mhm.
like, I mean, yeah, I know Poff and me too, being the color commentator, actually just being in the booth sometimes and seeing what you guys do,
Mhm.
like I think it's really amazing and it's inspiring too. You know, like you guys said, you guys are in front of the camera and you know not letting those nerves or feelings get to you guys, and you guys perform every single broadcast. You know, we just continue to get better every single day,
Exactly.
every single broadcast. So I know Pop is probably very appreciative of both you guys. So for our last question, you know, has there been a moment as a person that has there been a moment as a person where there's been a coaching point from Poff, from our professor Greg Poff, that you can take into the rest of your life? Has there been a coaching point that he has preached to you guys?
Well, yeah, from the very beginning of this school year, not just this semester,
Right.
school year, when we were doing our very first game broadcast, and we were both the sideline reporters for that game. I think it was the Rodriguez game we did. So he was coaching us on first and foremost vocal projections, because our content was great. That's what he told us. So just vocal projections that he always reminds us, because in the first, I think what we were doing, especially in my end, is that I was speaking too fast. Like, there's no rush.
Yeah.
Just say your report word by word without rush. Don't speak too fast because your audience won't understand you. And then vocal projection is number one, and then it's also something that I want to take, not just outside of this class, just because. Yeah, honestly, that one. Yeah,
That's
it's
okay.
vocal projection, something that I learned from it.
Nice. Perfect. What about you?
Well, for me, something I'll definitely take is that it's okay to make mistakes,
Right.
and that those mistakes will make you better in the future. And I also remember him saying to not overthink is always think about how you were yesterday and think of 3 things of how you can make today better.
Ooh.
So-
Yeah. He does tell
I
us
will
that.
definitely
He
take
does
that.
tell us
Yeah.
that, and see, those are the things that, like, I mean, he's just like also very inspirational too. You know, I mean, we know why he does this. You know, he does this. He's been doing this for like 30 plus years. I'm pretty sure, and you know, started this program a while back, and I mean, who knows? He's probably done like the philosophy he told you. I mean, that's the same thing. He's probably gone through a trial and error and stuff like that, and getting better. One thing that you know, I asked this question because I also want to shed light onto like some of the other things that he might preach to us too. Is that as a person, what I take in for the rest of my life is that, you know, one thing he actually told me, and I don't remember if you were there, but I know you were there, and he was talking about how, like, you know, the world is always beating you down. The world is always gonna beat you down, so don't beat yourself down with it. And you know, that comes with the confidence stuff. And what he meant by that was, you know, tell yourself good things. You know, it's about
Look at yourself in the mirror every single
Yep.
day.
Look yourself in the mirror every day and be like, that's that guy. You are that guy, or you are that girl. You know, you're gonna make it through today. And that, you know, it's just having a good self-image in your mind, and a good you know, that's so good for your mental health. You know, talking to yourself in a positive light, because you know, we know how things can get when, you know, things get hard, and outside the world is very cruel and stuff like that. But you know, if you're talking to yourself like that negatively in your own head, you know, that's also not the best thing as well. And shout out next month is going to be men's mental health awareness month.
Yeah.
So shout out men's mental health and women's mental health too. You know, we love all types of mental health. And so actually, I know I said that was my last question, but are you guys going to be returning?
My case, yes, I'll be returning next academic year and finish the remaining 2 semesters and get that CA towards alongside my ADT.
Right.
So yeah, I'll be back as a sideline reporter for 1 more year for Solano College Sports Network.
He signed. Josh Mojica, 1 year sign.
Yep. Sideline reporter, and of course basketball play-by-play announcer for SCSN. So yeah.
1 year extension. What about you, Maxine?
Well, for me, I won't be back next semester, but I'll definitely be visiting. Yeah, just gotta focus on my GE classes. So yeah, just focusing on all that. So yeah, I'll come visit you guys though.
That's very good. That's very good. Oh, and where are you gonna be going?
So next semester, I'm gonna stay one more semester here, and then the following semester, I'm gonna move out to Chico.
Nice. That's gonna be a very, very good experience for you. And you know, I know that Chico will be great. It'll be great to have you. And you know, we're gonna be great to have Josh, because Josh gonna be carrying the load. You know, since Maxine's gonna be gone. So that is gonna be wrapping up my questions for you guys today. And you know, I'm so glad that you guys were able to join me here today on this interview and talk to us more about, you know, how you guys' recap was of the semesters or the year of being in the program. And you know, I just want to thank the viewers out there too. Thank you for joining us on another episode of On Campus. My name is Dom Daynes. I am the host. I'm joined here with Josh Mojica, Maxine Fullen, and we will see you guys on another episode of On Campus.
If you are interested in a career in sports broadcasting,
whether you're commentating a live game
or hosting your own TV show,
for more information, contact Greg Poff. That's me at solano.edu.
we hope to see you here next semester. And remember,
it's more than just sports, it's an education.